For someone who doesn't have a personal experience, how do you kind of, I guess, as someone who is just interested in a lot of different things, how do you kind of pinpoint what you want to work towards, or like what certain charity you want to
make a difference in?
Like the world was messed up in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, how do you pick and choose?
Yeah. I have no idea. There's like, for me it's easiest to like focus on like where does your money go farthest if we're talking about money, which is oftentimes in the developing world where it can be pretty inexpensive to solve a lot of problems. But it can also be really weird, like how that, don't have like the sort of charity economy functions in a lot of the developing world, and that turns out to be surprisingly complicated. And indeed, things cost a lot more than you think they're going to. It's about what matters to you personally. It's about what's affected you in your life. It's about the people that you've known. It's about how your empathy functions as a person. And there's nothing wrong with finding an issue that you care a lot about personally and not spending time on the other issues, because most people don't spend time on any. Still a good person. Like what it means. And there's a community there that needs leadership and it needs guidance, and so you could go that route. You could do any of those things, and I think there's future.
If I can just say two for a second, and this is like I would not advise starting a new nonprofit. I always say, like, I know that seems really contradictory because I started a nonprofit, so I'm calling the hypocrite card for sure. But we've kind of come to say, like, because we have students ask us a lot, like whether it's for water or whether it's for something else they care about when we're speaking at their school, like how can I start a nonprofit, like what was that journey like? But I would say if you can't do it better, faster, cheaper, or be the first or the only, you have no business starting a nonprofit. And so for us, like, we feel pretty conclusive that there's like over 300 registered 501c3s in the US that exist to address the global water crisis. Most of them have really small budgets, and then some of them do really bad work, and some of them do amazing work. But nobody, when we started 5 years ago, was just activating me, like our group of people at our age. And so we recognized at our school really quickly, well, we can be that group doing this for us. So I would say find someone you love, like find something you love that you care about, and like support them, because they need your support, whether it's cancer, or whether it's water, or whether it's bullying, like they need you. And I mean, I'm so glad that like these people exist so that like I can maybe not have to worry about that so much, and I can focus on water.
Yeah, and also I think if you find yourself doing that kind of thing, and you're making content that like that integrates with existing nonprofits, you might find pretty quickly that you have a job, because they all need that. So.
And just to iterate on that, I mean, there's lots of the questions you already had, lots of questions going on in my head, like Seth just said, over 300.
Over 300 registered.
Just interpreting and navigating that space, I think can be incredibly useful and valuable. And like interpreting like what percentage of these charitable organizations, what percentage of the donations goes to marketing, what percentage of it goes to the actual charitable causes. I think all of that is something that needs some visibility. It doesn't exist yet. It would be a really cool space to figure out. Yeah.
You mentioned that there are charities out there that really aren't doing a great job with their money, and we all know that there's charities out there that are mismanaging things. What process do you go through when you're researching, are these guys worth investing my money in? Are these guys going to do a good job? Is the money going to go far?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'd say is donating money to charity always does more good than not. Even if, like, it's easy to get hung up on, like, are they going to do good stuff with my money, or should I buy Coca-Cola? Because, that goes to sugar. But yeah, Charity Navigator is on the internet and it does ratings and they are trustworthy.
Just be aware that Charity Navigator, you have to be a certain size before you can before you can even be considered to be evaluated by it. So a small organization that might not be on Charity Navigator might still be okay.
Yeah.
So just because they're not on Charity Navigator, but a good source.
So I actually work for a big issue advocacy nonprofit, and it's one of the kind of old school organizations that is still looking at videos like, we have to pay a lot of money to a company to design a video for us and get us online, and I'm obviously here because I really want to see us get involved in the community more. What would you say for an organization who's sort of on the flip side, who is really looking for people to talk?
Because, but I don't, I think about 25 other things a day, so it's not what I spend all my time doing. But my wife used to be in the environmental movement and nonprofits, and that was super hard. And I used to also be in that business, and it was just, you fight and fight and fight and fight, and then the bill doesn't get passed, and then the bill is back the next session. And then you fight and fight and fight and fight, and the bill doesn't get passed. And you never win all the way. Only little victories, and it's very hard. And I greatly admire anyone who does this full time.
Scott and Tyler, so what's a win for you? Like what makes you, at the end of the day, if you look at it, that gets you really excited about that was you didn't have the day before?
Well, can you repeat that?
like obviously win for you. I mean, if you touch one person's life and make them be able to be more comfortable in their skin and in themselves, that's fantastic. But you obviously, as an organization, you want to keep growing and you want to touch lots of people. So like, how do you track kind of like your success, and how do you know you're moving forward?
Well, I guess, we call ourselves the No Bull Guys as kind of a separate little part of the No Bull Challenge, and like our part is speaking to schools and getting the word out. So I mean, I guess us personally, going from speaking to 2 schools in our county, like for the first 3 months that we tried to do this, to going to speaking to over like 15,000 students in the past, 5 months. I think that kind of growth is really cool for us. But for the No Bull Challenge, it's like first year, which is last year, when we have a big award show to celebrate all these teens who are standing up, all the teens who make videos get invited. And so it's like, last year was in San Francisco and it was really small. It was held in like a hotel ballroom, and like this year we moved to LA. So it's like, it's constantly moving, and like Seth said, it's like just word of mouth, and like one person having a connection and moving to so many other connections from that has really made the No Bull Challenge grow, especially getting like support from like Dr. Oz and our segment that we had on the Today Show, and it was just stuff like that. It's huge that it comes up, and every day, like every week, it seems like we have somebody else who wants us to come speak, or so that's really amazing to know that people want to learn more, and there's not a dull moment really.
Lori, what about you?
Well, I think the thing that I get excited about is that people at their hearts really want to care about our world and our environment and our kids. And so I think the biggest thing that social media does is it gives us access to information easily. One of the things we just did, the Starbuck Club just joined as a founding member for a brand new coalition called Coalition Against Childhood Cancer. I am so excited because their goal, their biggest ambitious goal is to eradicate childhood cancer, but because no child should have to die of cancer. But they're doing that through collaboration, through exposure, through information, because once people realize, for example, that the National Cancer Society only dedicates 4% of its research money to childhood cancer research, people will go, oh my God, it shouldn't be that way. Well, you don't find that out unless you have information. Best way to process information is through social media. The secondly then is that people need accessibility. So if you make it easy, like Project for Awesome, or click the donate button, or Indiegogo, or whatever it is, if you make it easy, then people can give because they don't have to go searching for a way to do that. So the Star Won't Go Out was really, we see it as just really organic. We're meeting a need, we're providing for families. It's not so much about numbers, it's about the individuals and also the inspiration for other people. Everybody's gone through grief and bereavement and loss, and so we speak to that and inspire based on that. So
has that kind of it seems like that it's instrumental to get people interested in what you're doing and to get people to care, to give them some kind of emotional reason, plus that ease of use with social media or making it very easy to contribute. Have you thought about that in kind of your outreach or how you go out and approach people trying to get them interested in the project? Or
yeah, I mean, we show Esther's feelings video a lot of times. She talks about what it feels like to have cancer, or when people get exposed to those feelings, it helps them get in touch with where they're at and makes them want to get involved and make a difference. That's the question.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Seth, how have you seen what's been most effective for you to get people to care?
I mean, when you say something like almost a billion or 780 million people in unsafe water, I think for most people they sort of tend to switch off, because I as a human don't connect with the idea of 780 million humans. And so we place a lot of emphasis, whether we're doing assemblies or speaking, or whether we're just having conversations with people or making a video, on really trying to share individual stories and showing the impact of water in communities. And I think, again, most people don't realize in a given day just how water touches your life. And you say, I know, I wash my hands, or I flush the toilet, or I shower, or I drink, but it's tremendous. And so when you share that person's story in the field, when you show someone who's received safe water and the impact before and after of not just, I'm not thirsty anymore, but this means that this person right here, who is someone's son, someone's daughter, who has a name and a face and loves certain things, whether it's this person loves Spider-Man, or this person, they're a real person, and they can now go to school because they're not walking 4 or 6 hours a day to get water that's going to make them sick. They can actually have a shot at an education or a shot at getting a good job. And so I think that for us it's really been telling stories that are real and truthful and honest in a way that can hopefully connect with people and say, the only difference between me and this person here is that I was just born somewhere else and have crazy different opportunities. And so it's really just been trying to share those stories with people and try to take this issue that can be kind of challenging sometimes to communicate how amazing the impact is to micro levels.